So there's something that I don't really want to talk about, but probably should for other people's sake. Maybe I should talk about it just because it might bring comfort to somebody. It might help me to actually talk about it and to dispel some things. The thing that I wanted to talk about today is how I feel about my weight and how I feel about my body. It's a really touchy subject for me just because of things from my past and how I personally feel about myself. Whether that's directly influenced by people that I've been in contact with or just growing up, it's kind of something that you learn, unfortunately. Starting back from the earliest age that I can remember having a problem with myself, and particularly my weight, because there's some other things I don't like about myself, which is it's pretty normal for everybody. I first started to notice that I didn't quite like myself, my body, 3rd grade. That's when I first started noticing that I didn't like myself. It was more because of I felt different from the other kids. I thought it was primarily just my weight, and it was a lot of other things that as you grow up you start to find out who you really are. Learning those things about myself kind of just like it makes me who I am today, but thinking back when I was a kid and that, just feeling so uncomfortable in my own skin, I don't even know how to put that into words, and I'm sure that other people understand what I'm saying about it. You know something's like wrong with you, but it's not that it's wrong, it's that you know that you're different, and it just makes you have like almost anxiety, like almost uncomfortableness with people around you. And that's really how I felt as a kid. I just felt uncomfortable. Like there were certain clothes that I liked wearing because I felt like I looked good in them, and that was totally fine. But it wasn't until I started noticing that I liked other people and then realized that, oh, other people are gonna like me too, but then thinking at that time that no one's gonna like me. I like look back and I feel like really sad for my younger self feeling that way. I ended up telling most of my family, I was like 8 years old, telling the family, I'm not gonna get married and I'm not gonna have kids. And everybody was, wait for the right person to come along. They'll change your mind. You're young. Like, I'm obviously really young. I'm 8 years old, right? But to have that idea already in my head that I don't want to be with anybody, and it wasn't because I didn't want to be with somebody, it was because I didn't feel like I was not worthy, but no one was gonna like me, because how could someone else like me if I couldn't like myself? And especially when you're that young, and it's not like anybody really told me at that age that no one wanted me. It's just something that I got in my head that I look in the mirror and I don't like the way I look, so why would someone else like me? It's such a deep hatred of yourself and not having that confidence in myself. Like, of course I didn't get asked out to dances. Of course I didn't really have like a relationship. Like, I didn't have a relationship in school. I didn't have a relationship in high school either. I never got asked out to a prom. I never went on a date. Like, that, it didn't happen. It's totally fine. I'm fine with it, because honestly, the person I'm with today, I feel like if I could go back and accomplish those things in my life that I want to accomplish, like going to prom or going on a date and that, I'd want to do it with my husband, not with somebody else, just because I feel like that's a really important thing to have in life. And there's nobody that I can think of back in that time that I'd want to go do those things with. So there's that, and that's my own personal opinion about stuff. Well, that's when I first started noticing that I didn't like myself. I didn't like my body. I really hate my nose. It like really bugs me. Like, I've come to appreciate it now. It makes my face, it makes who I am. And I wouldn't necessarily go get plastic surgery to get it fixed, but not that it needs fixing is what I'm trying to say. It's more of like I had to learn to like myself. And it took a really long time. The other part that really started to affect my psyche about myself was being in a really bad relationship. It wasn't even a physical one. That's what's really dumb about it when I think back on it. When I think back on it, I wish that I could go back and tell myself to not listen to what the person was telling me, that they wanted something physical out of me that I was never going to be able to achieve for them. And I don't know if it was like a personal thing for him that he wanted about himself, or if I was supposed to be like an item thing, and because I didn't fit that mental picture of what he wanted in a female partner, I just wasn't going to be able to achieve that for him. I tried really hard because I, thought that this is the person I'm going to be with. You're supposed to try your utmost for your partner that you should be with. And like, I wish I could go back and tell myself, to let it go, to not put so much weight in his words. If there's anything that I could say to somebody today that they're being abused or they don't feel like they're in the right relationship, like, just leave. And I know that that's easier said than done. I mean, usually your family tells you, that there's something wrong about the relationship. They are worried about you. Your friends tell you, but then it's like systematically that person that's with you has you start cutting off those relationship ties with those people. You're not allowed to have friends anymore. You're not allowed to family members to talk to you about stuff. Like, you're not allowed to complain to anybody about them because they immediately are like, you're talking behind my back. And it's like, yes, at a point you are, but you also need to be able to, if you are in an abusive relationship, you should be allowed to talk to somebody about it. And obviously, like, to them, they're not being abusive. For the longest time, I didn't think that my partner was abusive at the time. And I was with him for 5 years. And that really affects you because what people say, that like carries with you for the rest of your life. I can be honest and say that stuff still affects me to this day. It's something that you learn to live with and you like get over it every single day. There's been a lot of times where it's like I'll hear a song or watch a movie or something and think back to a moment where it's like we were having an argument or we were having like a texting fit and he's breaking up with me because I did something wrong. Or for whatever reason, I'm just a piece of crap. I should go dig myself a hole and die because I'm just being such a terrible partner. I'm really thankful to be with someone now where that's not even a problem, where I'm not even like second guessing myself. Like, I know that I'm worth it and he knows that I'm worth it and he makes me feel like I'm worth it every single day. And that's just not, you know the difference. You know when you're with somebody that actually treats you the way that you should be treated. And So if you still feel like even at this moment me speaking about things and it seems to raise a red flag for you, I'm looking at you right now, that how you're being treated and how you're being talked to isn't appropriate. And it's ultimately only your job and your only initiative that can ever take place to change the situation that you're in. And I wish that I could talk to myself like that in the past and say, hey, this isn't right. When he's calling you names, that's not right. When he's saying that you're stupid, you're not stupid. When he's saying you're insignificant, you're not insignificant. You do mean something to somebody. You should mean something to yourself. And whether you're religious or not, like, that should be something you could cling to. Knowing that you are made worthy in someone's eyes, whether it's someone here physically or not. It's so unfortunate that it's such a big thing for people to deal with. And it's unfortunate that I landed into that immediately when I was 15. I started dating this guy when I was 15. And I dated him until I was 19, until I met my husband now. And my husband's the one that helped me take those first steps to letting my ex know, like, I'm done being treated this way. I don't deserve to be treated this way. And so I'm breaking it off finally after 5 years. And the only reason why I hadn't successfully broken it off until that point was because I felt like I've put 5 years into this relationship. I can't just walk away. There's this saying that, well, I've still got my CDs in his truck. I can't break up with him. I need to get those out of his truck first. And it's like one excuse after another excuse after another excuse. And 3 years goes by and you're still with somebody who treats you like crap, who physically hurts you, who may not be physically abusive, does call you names, does make you feel less than, not in a good way. And I've even seen people be in monetarily abusive relationships where the person literally will not allow you to put something in your name because they need to have ownership of it. That really is abusive, because when you finally get the gumption to finally leave that person, you have had no credit instilled in your name. So when you go to rent a house, when you go to buy a car, because they're the only ones that had a car, and I say they because women can be just as abusive as men. It's not just a guy problem. It's just an abuse problem. That's literally what it is. People are so cruel to each other. They don't realize that this is another human being. Like, they have feelings too, and I don't know why that's such a problem. But I want to give you the courage to talk to somebody, to reach out for help, to finally take that last step that I've been waiting months. I've had a bag packed. Like, go in that room, grab that bag, and walk out that door. There's nothing that you need to stay for. There's nothing that's gonna make them change, right? Like, that's the ultimate reason, is they might get better tomorrow, or things come to fruition, they climax, right? They're sorry, they make so many excuses to you, it's gonna be better this time, and then a week, 2 weeks, a month goes by, and then something happens and you're right back where you started. And you know that this is gonna continue. You know that it's gonna keep happening. I hope that I can give you that courage to step away from that sort of situation. Now that we're off that little side chat, being with that abusive person that I was with really made me second guess myself and my worth, and really took my confidence away. And it's not that he even took it. I willingly gave it away. And that's really what upsets me, is that the way that I am now, you would not think that I was ever shy or that I wouldn't go up and talk to people, but I was really quiet. I was really shy. And that didn't really change until I was about 19, when I was on my own, and I just had to step into it. I had to grow up. I had to be an adult. And honestly, I'm super thankful for that, because I don't think that I would have been where I'm at now with myself to do that, to successfully do that. I was someone that I couldn't even go up and ask for a refill, or to call someone. Like, I don't like talking on the phone. And now I can do it. It's fine. Sometimes I'm really excited to do it, depending on what it is. Like, I'm someone who's like really weird, and I love doing interviews. I love being interviewed, and I love interviewing other people. But I had to get to a point where I felt comfortable with that, and it took a lot of work. But I know that it's something that everybody can do. Finally learning to have self-confidence in myself. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I've really reverted really bad. I had lost a lot of weight when I was with my ex, because that was something that he required of me. And I went from being close to 300 pounds all the way down to, I think my lowest was 185 pounds. I'm 5'6", 5'7", so that I felt really good. I felt really good. I was really sassy. And that's when my husband met me, and that's the person I feel like he fell in love with. There's also this saying that when you get married, or you're really happy and you're with a person that you love, you tend to gain a lot of weight, because you're just you. And that's really what happened. Just recently, I had weighed 300, and I think I was up to 309 pounds. And that is the heaviest that I've ever been in my entire life. And I was really, really upset with myself to let myself go. I was a super health nut. I exercised, I ate right, Unfortunately, when I got with my husband, we didn't have the funds to eat healthy. It is really expensive to eat healthy. My husband just wasn't in a mindset to exercise with me. And so I felt like, well, if I'm gonna spend time with my husband, then I'm not gonna exercise because I don't have the time. It just wasn't a lifestyle choice for me at that time. I ended up gaining a lot of the weight back, a lot of the weight. In my previous video, I talked about my ring not fitting on my ring finger anymore. And that's a big reason why, is because I gained a lot of weight. And so my ring doesn't fit on my finger anymore. And that's been really upsetting for me too, because it's something that I felt really proud of, being able to just immediately wear it, not have to get it sized. And I don't want to get it sized because I'm worried about it making the ring brittle. So I'm trying to make it a goal for me to lose the weight, to have my ring fit on my finger without getting it sized. And that's really super important to me, to have that goal in mind, because I feel like that's something that's going to push me to do it. I've ate right. I've been on a diet. I've done the keto diet. I switched completely over. When I first met my husband, it was turkey meat only, fruits and vegetables, very low fat things. And now the keto diet is it's completely the opposite from that. It's high fats. And so going from like turkey meat to ground meat and trying to get like really good meat, I've been really blessed to be able to have a wonderful job and my husband to make money as well, to have enough of an income for us to actually eat the foods that we want to eat, so we can afford to be a little bit more health conscious. I will admit I'm not as active as I used to be. I think that's just something that comes with age, is that now I have a full-time job. I come home, I'm tired from working all day, and I don't want to exercise. I need to drink more water, and I just need to be more active. Honestly, the only one that's stopping me from doing it is myself. I have the will to do it, I just don't do it. I don't follow through, or I'll start for like a week and then I just kind of putter out, which is really annoying. I only have myself to blame for all of that, but I definitely have the goals in mind and the things that I want to do. But I just wanted to talk about like self-confidence, how people can really tamper with your mental psyche of how you view yourself. I went from a very young kid, no problems, to all of a sudden being aware of the world and aware that other people were looking at me. And I still have a problem with it today. I have a really hard time wearing certain clothes because I feel like people are staring at me and they're judging me all the time, you know, because I look at people and I'm judging them, and I really should knock that off. I know that people are doing it to me, and it just makes me really self-conscious in public. I don't like to go to restaurants and eat. I will never eat by myself in a public area where there's other people. Nope, not gonna happen. Because I know that people are looking at me, or even if they're not, because you know they're so keen on people looking at them, so they're trying to be like super sly and like they're anxious because people are looking at them, sort of thing. I still can't do it because it's a personal thing for me. Maybe in time that will get better, and maybe doing these videos and that and talking about it, maybe you guys can give me some advice. Let me know down below if you guys have had similar instances, or you guys feel the exact same way that I do, or maybe you're somebody that's overcome this and you can give me a couple tips or tricks down below. Let other people know what you guys have learned. Just trying to stay positive in this world that I know like can super bring me down, and then I get really negative on myself, and I just need to knock that off. We just need to stop it, because we all can do this. Anyway, so that's it, guys. Let me know down below what you guys think. If there's anything that you guys have to offer for advice, or you just want to say, hey, just say it down below, and I'll see you guys in my next video.